Well, we're live. It's Exsin Live. Dave and Phil are back today, and we're going to talk about a new adventure that we've started on here at Exsin to bring a personal coaching element to what we do with Exsin, because really, most business owners struggle with personal stuff, which drives challenges in their business. So we feel like it's one of those things you need to get right?
Well, I think everybody knows we have a stated goal on how many businesses we want to help grow their value, grow their opportunities for their employees over the next 10 years. But we met a group and we're lucky enough to be asked to be some of the founding ambassadors for this group. So we're excited about it. We do think that, and we think this, at least I'll say this for myself, Captain America, he's got his life squared away. I know.
Wish.
But another thing, my wife pointed out I wear either the purple or blue Callaway shirt every Wednesday for some reason.
What?
Yeah.
Is she monitoring what you wear?
Yeah, evidently she's keeping an eye on me. But so I apologize for wearing the same shirt every Wednesday, but I have more than one shirt. Don't I?
I don't know if you do or not. But can you find all your shirts?
No, everything's packed right now. We're doing a little remodel at the house. But anyway, I know from my own experience, there's been times in my life where I just needed somebody to help me stay on track, stay working towards my goals, to live the best life I could live. And as Dave said, we get a lot of these conversations going with business owners. We realize, obviously it's not just business owners that need this help, that need somebody to help guide them. And we were lucky enough to be invited into this opportunity, this group that's fabulous, led by some great leaders. We feel very fortunate to be some of the founding ambassadors for this.
So ULA, and I want to make sure I don't miss anything because we're new to this and we're just getting started, but it basically is a balancing act, right? We all have things that we have to deal with in our life, and they've broken it down into the 7 F's. Fitness, finances, family, field, faith, friends, and fun. And if any one of those areas is out of balance, your life is out of balance. And I'm gonna tell on myself, because I'm going through the process right now of building my wheel, and I'm kind of a lumpy wheel right now. It's not very exciting. My life is not as great as we would hope.
Captain America is not perfect. Okay.
But what I realized is this. Is that I spent most of my life working 12 to 14 hours a day, and I neglected certain things on that wheel, right? And it had an impact on my family, it had an impact on my life, and it's still Matt, I'll slow down. It still causes problems. So now I'm going through the process and learning about the wheel and how to take advantages of what I did wrong and make them positives in the other areas of my life, basically. And ULA gives you a path to that. And what ULA has done is they have launched an application, a learning application that learns you and gives you daily action steps to keep your life balanced. So if you're an 8 in fitness and a 3 in family, you probably need to spend some time working on family. If you're a 10 in your field and a 2 on fun, you probably need to have some fun and stop working so hard at work, or you're not balanced and you're stressed out and you're not doing great around work. So for Matt, and then like Phil, jump in here, the 7 F's, I will talk slowly this time.
Matt will keep you in check.
He's doing a great job. And I appreciate it, Matt, because
Matt's been keeping me in check since we were 6 years old.
Flying on the East Coast, you learn to talk really fast if you want to get a radio call in. I'll just leave it at that. So the 7 F's are fitness, family, field,
your career,
field,
career.
Faith, friends, and fun. So hopefully that was slow. That was a little slower and easier to understand. I'm struggling this morning.
You are.
I didn't sleep last night.
That early morning day drinking is catching up to you.
Yeah, well.
I like coffee.
From our proud sponsors at 7-Eleven.
That's right. Thanks, 7-Eleven. No, but when you break it down and you look at the 7 key areas, they're pretty obvious once you go through them. That these are the areas that touch our lives the greatest. What are you doing? This is a hot mess, Dave.
Apparently my phone.
Dave's struggling this morning.
I'm just going to go home and start over.
Which one did I miss? Darren said. Now you get called out by Darren. Darren told me I was overweight, and now he's calling you out.
Field, faith, friends, fun. What do you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a look at.
goodness. We said it was brand new, right?
It's brand new.
Maybe we ought to prepare. Maybe preparation ought to be one of those.
It's no fun if you're prepared. I mean, they don't get all the side conversations and silliness if you're prepared. Let's see, fitness, finances.
Finances.
Famous finances. There you go.
Finance. I could have swore he said finances. Darren, maybe you missed it.
He did.
Oh, which one did I miss? Okay, yeah.
He missed it, yeah. Finances there. So.
Yeah. No, we appreciate that, but I think when you look at those different areas, whether it's your finances, your fitness, I think all of us, I'm 55 years old. Fitness is not where it needs to be for me personally, right?
Just ask Darren.
Just ask Darren. He'll tell you quick. You need to push the pastry away, little buddy. Push the pastry away. But family, family obviously is something that's important to most people. Although I have met people in my life professionally that were clients that family maybe wasn't the highest on the list. We're not saying that. I mean, most people, I think, family would be high on the list, but there are those out there that's just not as big of a deal, believe it or not. The field, your career, how do we make our living? What do we do to earn money? How do we build our businesses? What are those things? Your faith, faith means different things to different people, but what is your faith? What is your faith? Friends, friends are a lot of work, aren't they, Dave? Dave knows this firsthand, being my friend, but
easy.
Friends are a lot of work. Matt and I, who's listening in, Matt and I literally are lifelong friends, literally. We were born 11 days apart, grew up next to each other. We just had a field between us, so we spent our youth running across that field to go play and hang out and have adventures, and we've maintained a great friendship throughout our adult life. So when you have friends like that, it's very, very important that you develop those relationships and you honor those relationships. It's very, very important. And then fun, you got to have fun. There's been stages in my life that having fun was never a problem. And then there's been stages in my life where it just seemed like no matter what I did, my fun meter was low. And it's usually, if the fun's trailing behind, it's usually because one of those other 6 things is preventing you from having fun. It could be something in your field. It could be something with your family. It could be something in your finances. It could be something with your friends. Maybe a challenge they're going through, or you're working through something with a friend. But the fun thing is impacted by everything, and that's what's kind of cool about all of them. They're all impacted by the other, right? If you could have fun, I guess, if your finances aren't perfect, but you can have a lot more fun if you're in control of your finances. In finances, we tell clients all the time, I tell sales reps that we work with, if you ever pick a number in your head and you say, if I can just make this amount of money, that's great. You will never make more than that. That's the bottom line. If your number is $20,000 a month, I can promise you are never going to make more than $20,000 a month. I promise you, it won't happen. So, what we're excited about is, first of all, to be partnering with these fabulous guys and gals with ULA that we know have spent years developing this concept, this model, and it's truly a program that's going to help improve people's lives. That's what's exciting about it. Beyond that, I think there's, I'm guilty of giving 5 of the F's, whatever
is left
after field.
We're with you, brother.
Yeah, that's true for most of us, Matty. There's no doubt, but you gotta have a desire and a passion to get better. If you have a desire and a passion to get better in your life, then great things are going to happen. If you are embarrassed, you're caught up in your failures of the past, you're caught up in the failures you had as a husband or a father or a friend or a mother or a wife or a friend, if you're caught up in those, then you're never going to grow. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. What matters is what you do today. That is, without question, the number one thing that all of us need to focus on. And then I think the other thing is being present. So if you're working on your relationships, right, with your family or your friends or whatever the case may be present with them when you're working on that. Don't have this thing up to your ear 24/7. Don't be doing this all the time. Yeah, exactly. Don't be doing this. Really pay attention and be present and authentic in those relationships. I'm going to use Matt as an example. You know, Matt and I did some work together years ago. I think we always kind of wanted to work together. I think then we did work together, and Matt and I approach things from different perspectives. Doesn't mean I'm right, he's wrong. Doesn't mean he's right and I'm wrong. It means we go about it in a different way. You got to learn how to embrace those differences and really push yourself to make positive change. The biggest thing that I think causes folks to consistently stay where they're at is they're scared to admit that they don't have everything figured out. They're scared to admit that they may not be great at everything. And that's unfortunate because nobody's great at everything. You know, and we tell clients, one of my go-to lines, Jennifer, I don't know if Jennifer's on the call this morning, but one of my go-tos with Jennifer is you got to give yourself a break. And what I mean by that is not give yourself a break, go have a glass of tea and chill for a few minutes, although that's important too. What I'm saying is you got to quit being so hard on yourself. You know, we're gonna mess things up. We're gonna, you know, life can be ugly sometimes.
Absolutely. I
mean, it just can be. When Tanya and I lost our boy Tyler, it'll be 13 years ago this June 21st. When Ty passed away when he was 16. Trust me, there was nothing in my life that it didn't matter that my finances were fine. It didn't matter that I had a great family. It didn't matter that I had great friends. It didn't matter that my field was good. It didn't matter. None of that mattered because I was just rocked to the core. And so what started happening, just to kind of own my own stuff here, is I became somebody that I wasn't. And I let that dominate my life and start affecting every other aspect of my life. If it hadn't simply been for my beautiful wife and her ability to hold everything together, I probably wouldn't be here today. I sure wouldn't be here as a happy human being living the best life I can every day. So, you know, you're going to have things that happen to you in life that are going to knock you on your butt. And the key is if you get knocked on your butt, are you going to lay there and bleed or are you going to get up? If you get up and you keep fighting and you keep working towards getting better, great things happen.
So let's kind of go through ULA a little bit. So that's where ULA comes in, right? The process is there. You do an assessment. You walk through 70 questions online in your different areas, grade yourself and that develops your current state. And it's all in an application online. From that current state, it develops a blueprint for your life of things you need to do to improve in the areas you're not doing well in. And it gives you a path and it holds you accountable every day with action. At the end of the day, you go into the application and you fill out what you've done and whether you completed the 3 action steps for the day. So it's like having a personal coach that you spend thousands of dollars for in your pocket. And it's simply one of the best things out there. I'm so glad that Dr. Dave and Dr. Troy did this for everybody. I'm excited to be a part of it now because we're going to use their tools to teach. And if you want to this in your life or you know somebody that does, let us know. We can sign you up to be a member. It's not very expensive. If you want to be a founding ambassador, we're looking for 7. We've got a couple already, but we're looking for 7 people that are committed to changing 1 billion people in 7 years with the rest of the ULA team.
Well, I think too, the key thing here is Dave and I, obviously with our background, and we're business people. So we sat down and looked at everything. And the reality is this is a big step for us because we're taking some things that paid very high fees to us off the table simply because we feel like this is a better way to help people. And so, we are looking for those folks that want to work with us directly and personally. There's, I think, obviously our experiences and backgrounds lends to some advantages being part of our team, just because we've experienced a lot of this. But if you have questions, just get with us and we'll be glad to walk you through it.
So the big thing is, even if you don't do ULA, personal development is important. You need to stay balanced in life. Yep. I think it's probably the sort of thing. That's the whole point of today. We kind of pitched a little bit, and I hope you understand that. But the reality of it is if your personal life isn't right, your business life isn't right. And we all deal with personal stuff, all of us. Day in and day out, there's always a challenge that's in our face, and there's some silliness going on. And sometimes that our emotions are the best of us, but you gotta take a deep breath, look at what's happened, and move forward every day, because everybody out there is capable of doing great things in this world. Don't give up on yourself.
Well, I'll give you a real world example. I don't think I've told Dave this, but we've talked a lot about the remodel at our house right now. And Dave likes to tease me that we remodel about every 2 to 3 years. It's kind of what it feels like.
It's not little remodels either. It's like tearing walls out.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. But anyway, I had one of my contractors sent me a text and said, "Hey, I screwed up on my bid." He laid it all out for me. He came to me before he started the job, said, "This is what I forgot to put in the bid. I'm going to honor the bid, but I wanted to run it by you." And because of the way he approached it, I could have been what I would consider a jackwagon and say, "Nope, you're going to honor the bid," and cause him to work for 2 weeks and lose money. Or you can be reasonable. And so I said, "No, that's fair. I appreciate you being up front. Let's adjust the bid and we're good." So what's the reason of me sharing this with you? So I had an opportunity to, he already said, "I'm going to do the bid regardless. I'm going to honor the bid." But he was professional enough to approach me and say, "This is what happened. I messed up. This is what it's going to cost me. Is there any way we can figure this out? Now, don't feel like you have to, because you don't, because I signed off on it. It's good. I'm going to honor my word." And because of his professionalism and his willingness to say, "I messed up. I screwed up. This is on me. I'll eat it if I need to, but this is on me." Then I felt inclined. I wanted to say, "No, charge me more money." If that makes sense, simply because it was the right thing to do. But if he had approached it a different way, where he came out and started working, and then he gets down towards the end of the deal and says, "Oh, hey, by the way, I need to bump this up. We missed a couple things," and he had tried to handle it a different way, he probably would have gotten a different response from me. So I think, again, it goes back to acknowledging when you've made a mistake, acknowledging when you're struggling, acknowledging that you don't know everything. I mean, that's one of the biggest deals, guys, is acknowledging that you don't have all the darn answers. I mean, nobody does. And I think you've got to, if you just, we like to say strip down naked. And again, we're always quick to tell people, leave your clothes on. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about emotionally, and just literally say, "Here I am with all my spots, all the warts, all the blemishes, all the stuff that's wrong, and all the stuff that's good." And we believe, because we see it every day and we've experienced the grace of people, I think, people want to be a part of that, and they want to help you, and they want to see you do great things. So we're excited about ULA. We believe in it. This is something that we've made a very strong commitment to, financially as well as time-wise, and we think it's going to be a fabulous way for us to help a lot of people.
I agree with that. So you guys go live your best life. If yesterday was bad, dust it off, step back into the arena, get back in the game, work on your 7 Fs, and make your life as good as it can be. We want to see you all be successful. Again, if you have business questions, check us out.
Go ahead. I don't mean to interrupt, but I just saw Matt's comment about something.
Yeah.
Seriously, many business owners like me spent the past year in survival mode. Amen, brother. Dave knows that in my businesses, we took a massive hit outside of Exsin, a massive hit. And he got to live with me, not being very oolah on some days. I was something else, but I wasn't very oolah. I was not happy. I wasn't a happy camper. And it is hard. Sometimes you got to dig deep, but the transition back to normal is tough. And it is. It is. But what we've found, Maddie, is that if you got to take it literally one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, one activity at a time, one task at a time, and you just got to start getting back into the flow of things. There's no magic pill that anybody can take that's going to say, okay, pandemic's over. I know that was a crappy 15, 16, 17 months, but hey, we're back to normal now. Go ahead. And you're right. Scarcity mentality is hard to shake. It is. It's hard to shake. But the good news about scarcity mentality is you only got one or two options. You can either work towards shaking it or you can stay there. There's not a third option. And so I think some of the stuff that I encourage people to do is so much about how things turn out in our life is our attitude about it. I've had good business deals. I've had horrible business deals. I've had great business partnerships. I've had terrible business partnerships. So I've experienced all of them, and I can simply tell you this: my attitude dictated how I came out of it. This guy sitting to my left this past year, I will say this, and he knows this because he saw me at my lowest. We've dealt with health things in our family in the last few years. We've dealt with just countless things. The pandemic, like so many people, where we saw businesses that we've spent 30 years building just be decimated overnight. So we've experienced those things too. But this guy helped me get back up, get the right attitude, get my head out of my butt in some cases, and start re-engaging, start being positive about the future, start thinking about what's possible instead of what you don't control. As much as we hate it, we don't control what happened during the pandemic. We don't control it. As much as we hate it, I didn't have a vote when Ty passed away 13 years ago. I didn't have a vote. Dave knows this. I've told Dave, I said, I would absolutely 1,000% have agreed to shovel pig crap for the rest of my life for $1 an hour if my son would still be alive. I didn't get a vote in that, right? I didn't get a vote when our house burned down 6 months after Ty died. Didn't get a vote in that. Didn't get a vote in a lot of things, So at the end of the day, we've got to decide, are we going to lay there and bleed? Or are we going to stand up and fight? And are we going to fight for a great life for ourselves and for our family? That's the bottom line. It doesn't matter if you like it. Liking's got nothing to do with it. I had a guy tell me one time, everybody deserves to be happy. No. Well, where's that written? Where's it written down that your life's going to be without challenges, without problems, without things that cause you great pain? It's actually written down the opposite in a pretty special book. So I just think attitude is so much about how you're going to do in life. It dictates everything. If you are mad and angry and scared and you're operating from those, number 8, fight. Yeah, good point, Darren. I agree. But for me, number 9 would be fridge, as in refrigerator, according to Darren. I got to stay away from.
Fair, it's fitness.
It's fair statement. Fitness. Yeah.
So I want to add some here. And we were close up. Phil brought up a great point. I hope I don't mess this up. When you're trying to survive your time in basic training in the military, you learn really fast. If I can just make it to the next meal.
Yeah.
I'm not going to quit until after lunch.
I forgot.
And then after lunch, I'm not going to quit until after dinner. And then it's bedtime. I'm not going to quit until after breakfast. And soon, you're 23 years in the military. You've done all these great things. I'm just going to take the next step. I'm not going to quit until I make the next step. And I'm going to tell you that about your business. When things get tough, I'm going to make it to the next meeting. We're going to figure out how to make the next thing successful. We're going to keep stepping, and we're not going to give up. We're not going to pound and say, look, Don't any of you think that Phil and mine's life is perfect? We have our own set of challenges we've dealt with our entire life. We're still dealing with stuff. That was great, Dave. We're still dealing with stuff that's challenging day in and day out.
Every day.
You're not alone. You are not alone, and don't ever think you are. And if you need to reach out to somebody, you need help, shoot us a note, because we are here and we want to see you be successful. And this is getting to be an emotional meeting because we're talking about personal stuff.
Yeah.
And privately out, there's a lot of stories I'll share with you one-on-one that I won't share for the group. But, you know, I have been through challenges in my life. I have lost both of my parents over the years. I've lost tons of friends. Don't think that just because somebody says he's okay, he's okay. Check on your friends, make sure they're doing good. Try to balance your life with the 7, 8, 9 F's we have now. It's 7 F's, so for Dr. David, Dr. Troy. And if you're interested in joining us, come back next week. We're gonna have some more fun. We'll look for viewers' choice on the topic next week. Yeah. So if you got something we're talking about, and if you want to bring your business on, we can zoom you in here and showcase your business. We would love to start that two-way conversation as part of Exsin Live.
Well, the last thing I would say is this, you know, if you feel like you need a process to follow that's going to help you become better in those 7 key areas of life, let us know. Being a member is very, very easy, very, very inexpensive. It's, I mean, this is going to change. This is going to change a lot of people. You know, anybody that knows me already knew I wasn't perfect. You know, far from it. But you know, I said this about somebody the other day that I've loved my whole life. They had done something, and we were talking about something that needed to be kept confidential. And I was sharing it with somebody who happens to be married to this person. And I said, "Now, hey, brother, you know, keep that to yourself." And he kind of chuckles because we've all known each other forever. He goes, "Yeah, she ain't real good at keeping that confidential stuff." And it's not because it's not for bad reasons. She's just, bless her heart, she just can't keep it in. She gets so excited about things that she's just going to explode if she doesn't tell somebody. And so I think being great, having grace with people is a huge part of it. We talk about that with our clients all the time. You know, were you wronged a little bit? Yeah, probably. In the grand scheme of things, should this take time away from what you need to be focused on? Absolutely not. Right? But we're innately built to where we feel like we have to fight every battle. We have to win every argument. We've got to make our point every time. And after 30, almost 40 years of marriage, I can tell you that the most important thing in my relationship, and Dave has heard me say this a million times, I'd rather things be right than to be right.
You can be right or you can be liked.
Yeah. You know, I mean, so if you're a person that has to win every argument and that has to just go to the mat on everything, I don't know what you speak of. If you do these things, you know, I'm going to challenge you that you really need to start working on that and start showing more grace. You know, there's a difference between showing grace and being a pushover or getting taken advantage of. I'm not talking about that. You know, I'm talking about showing grace, because I've had a lot of grace shown to me over the years by a lot of people. And I think it's the right thing to do is to give it back. So we could talk for hours, but I know we got to get out of here. That's your key, right?
Oh, sweet. Okay, no, I'm just checking. Hey, with that, it's Dave and Phil from Exsin, and we are out of here.